Yeah, fighters, everybody. Welcome to another podcast with Chuck and myself. And today we're going to be talking about, Chuck, I got to give you props for this idea because this one's really your brainchild around being able to fit fitness into your budget. And I kind of came up with that one off the top of my dome. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. And actually, I came up with it the other day because, not to call out people, but a couple clients that had reached out to me and I had spent a significant amount of time going over and doing assessments with them and just coming up with a plan for them. And then they came back to me and they're like, yeah, right now, it really doesn't fit in our budget. And I had asked them a simple question. I said, listen, understand that investing in yourself takes a certain amount out of your monthly budget, but you're investing in yourself. I want you to look at how much you spend on going out to dinner and having drinks at a restaurant, which are expensive, going out to have fast food, going out and paying $5, $6 for a cup of coffee. Take a look at that spend every single month as to what you're doing, and then come back to me and tell me that you can't spend on yourself to invest in your health and fitness. So that's how I came up with the idea.
And I think it's a great point, honestly. And that's why I thought with the timing of everything too, because, new year, new resolution, we even talked about that in the last 2-part podcast about, just because it's the new year doesn't mean that you should shy away from goal setting and whatnot, but don't leave it just in the new year. There's a whole approach that we can have year round. And part of that is actually having it fit your budget. And I understand that everyone's budget's going to look different, but that's why we, even here at Life of a Fighter and what we do with our Lifestyle of Fitness website and the new programs and everything that we're doing between, even the Never Diet Again webinar that we have, it's a free webinar that we're obviously going to also talk about our 28-day nutrition course, which is a paid course, but there are a combination of everything from free resources you could take action on to set you up for success, all the way up to paid programs that, again, investing in your health and looking at areas in your budget where you're spending money that can in the long run actually save you money. Because in my opinion, when I hear that, I say, well, what do you think is going to cost more? Investing X amount of dollars now, or if you have heart condition, diabetes, another chronic condition later down the road, the medical bills that will be associated with that. But not everyone's going to be that forward thinking, and I understand that, but that's kind of part of it. So, but to your point, what we're kind of digging into here on this episode is looking at what you can do right now to not only be able to invest money into your health and looking at different options, but how you can reallocate instead of having to increase your monthly income or anything like that. Like, just adjust some of the things you're spending money on, whether it's the coffee, right? Like, if you're spending $3 to $5 a day in coffee, that's $90 to $150 a month. That's a program right there in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Right. And then whether we look at dining out, if you're eating out once a week, and probably right now with COVID, maybe you're ordering in, but I guarantee you, if you're more than likely what's happening is anyone that also wants to invest in their fitness and in their health, you're probably eating out too. They usually go correlated one with the other. And I'm not saying you can't eat out and still be healthy. Like Chuck, we've talked about this in prior episodes, and you even shared on your social media, like there's great ways to do it.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was reading a report the other day is during this COVID time, the amount of alcohol sales that have gone through the roof, and that's a major market right now. And I get you're stuck at home, people are getting depressed, and alcohol is a depressant. It adds to, you're being stuck at home, but what are we going to do? We're not doing anything. Let's drink. And it adds to being depressed. And the amount of money that you're spending on doing that, it's an unhealthy habit versus investing back into yourself. And I'm not asking everybody to go out and hire an online coach, but go out and rather investing money on an unhealthy habit like binge drinking or just drinking while you're at home, look at what supplements you should be taking and reach out to guys like Mike and I. We can talk to you about what micronutrients you should be taking. I have various people come out to me throughout the course of the day and they're like, dude, I know I should be taking supplements. What supplements should I be taking? And these are people that I've been working out with forever, and they're just coming up to me and they're asking me what supplements they should be taking. I'm like, do you even take a multivitamin? Let's start with that. And they're like, not really. So rather than taking and investing any of your monthly budget, like again, towards going out to get the coffee or drinking or out, restaurants, and again, instead of meal prepping, having fast food, or just just going to a restaurant for lunch, investing some of that money back into your health and fitness, whether it be supplements or whether it be working with an online coach or working with a nutrition coach, whatever it may be. Invest a portion of your monthly budget to yourself, to your health and fitness.
100%. And just to piggyback on that, there's two things I wanted to kind of bring up. Like, now's a good time just to take a break, quick second, guys. Check the resources below, the description below. One thing that Chuck and I put together for this specifically was something I've even talked about in the past. I work with a lot of college students, college athletes on tight budgets, and being mindful of the cost per calorie of certain things, saying, hey, even if you are food shopping, how can we take, whether your food shopping budget's $25, $50, $100 a week, all the way up to $250, whatever the number is, how do you make the most bang for your buck with nutrient dense items, choices? And that's something we created a resource for you guys, whether it's the best bang for your buck with fruit. Banana is one of the best cost efficiency with calories and nutrients per dollar and per calorie, as well as like an entire meta-analysis by the National Institute of Health that goes over across not just the US, but in we have listeners in other countries, like across the entire world, where the most cost-effective and nutrient-dense foods are. So you can, even with the choices you're already making, just move some of those things up and actually free up some money. So if you want to invest in programs or things like that, you can. And honestly, guess what, guys? I'm gonna call everyone out in the US, like, you probably got a stimulus check, right? And I'm sure, everyone's that feels challenged, but already has that money spent. But instead of going to get a new pair of Nikes or going to get the new Xbox or PlayStation or getting a new iPhone, like, guess what? Are you telling me that you don't have the money, but you have an iPhone 10, 11, or 12 in your hand?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that, like there's some irony in what you're saying to me and the priorities that you have.
Yeah. So like and I'm going to call him out. One of the clients that reached out to me, this guy is pushing 400 pounds. He contacted me. He knows he's got a problem, and he knows, he's like, listen, I think I know what I'm doing, but I know I'm not doing it right. He goes, the lowest I've ever been in my adult life was 170 pounds. He's like, I'd love to get back to that. But right now he's pushing 365 pounds. He knows he's not doing the right thing. And he asked me about the sauna. He asked me about the alkaline water system that I put in my house. He's like, yeah, I'm willing to invest into all this. I really want to do it. But then again, he turns around and he goes, yeah, it's not the right time. But meanwhile, he's telling me he's going out to dinner every single night. He identifies that he's got a problem. That's step one. Identify that, there's something not right with my health and fitness. I don't feel right with the choices that I'm making, my nutrition choices that I'm making. I need to make a change. Step one, identify that you need to make a change, and then figure out the next steps to put that change into effect. Whether it's right now I don't have the resources to allocate towards changing my nutrition lifestyle or my fitness lifestyle, let's see how we can align things differently, just like you were saying. Let's make better food choices. Let's, instead of going out to restaurants once a week, how about we do it once a month and we just start making some meal prep options for ourselves. That way we start saving a little bit. We go out and we get a bunch of chicken, we cook the chicken, boom, there's 3 meals for us, rather than going out and spending $25 on a dinner entree. Again, we talked about the coffee, we talked about the alcohol. There's so many different things. I know people that are going out and having 3-4 cans of Red Bull a day. Not the greatest, healthiest choices out there. But again, you're going out and maybe you don't identify it because it's just second nature that you're doing this stuff. And it just could be part of your day-to-day lifestyle. And you're not realizing that, man, I just spent $15 on Red Bulls or bottles of water. Rather than drinking out of the plastic bottles of water, get a refillable cup and refill it throughout the course of the day. There's ways to save on what you're doing on your day-to-day, habits that can put that money back in your pocket. And whether or not you decide to invest on health and fitness, that's your choice. We're saying that there's ways that you can do that. And if you're making the excuse that I can't invest in my health and fitness right now because I'm tapped out my budget, take a look. There's definitely some changes you can make.
100%. Just to piggyback, I want to give everybody a real life example on how we can do that. So you guys can have an exercise at home. Just so you guys oh, that's easy for you guys to say, how do I really apply this? Not only all the things we literally just talked about, and for whatever reason you spaced out at this point and now you're kind of dialed back in, let's give you a real life example. So let's take our initial consult, for example, that if you want to talk to myself or Chuck or one of our coaches to figure out, hey, we have options and break down exactly what we talked about. It's $130. It's a one-time fee. Let's just start with that. I don't have $130 in my budget. I don't know how I'm going to afford that. Let's take stimulus check out, all that other stuff, whatever. Let's look at, to Chuck's point on, guess what? I bet you most of you that are kind of watching this are either drinking calories. So that's talking about Red Bull, your sodas, your alcohol, coffee, anything. You're probably drinking calories. And if you're not, and you're saying, nope, Mike, not me. I drink seltzer. I drink water. Well, are you drinking bottled water? How are you consuming that? So let's look at that first. Let's take on average, you know what? I'm not even going to base it on where I'm at. I'm going to use Amazon as just an even price point that we're all going to reference. Let's look up a pack of soda. Let's just say Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is not a sponsor of this. They never will be, but they somehow got a plug for being unhealthy. So a pack of cola, let's look at it right here. It's, let's use Walmart. They just came up first. It's $8 for a 24 pack. Okay. So let's say you're buying at least a 24 pack a week. If you're drinking soda, I'm going to probably give you, so that's 7 times 4. That's $32 right there. We're already almost a third of the way down. And that's just one option. Now let's talk about, again, coffee. Let's say you're not even I'm not even going to say you're drinking coffee. Let's say you do. And I made a video of this on social media on a sugar-free creamer. Let's say, oh, Michael, I just put some cream in my coffee. That's all I do. Let's talk about that. Let's do sugar-free creamer, y'all. Doing real-time data for you guys just to make the point. And that's another one. You guys want to hear some interesting facts about how the FDA can lie to us. You can have less than half a gram of something, whether it's sugar or fat, and they can say it's sugar or fat-free, and it's really not. Like I did an example of sugar-free creamer, a French vanilla creamer, and the second ingredient was corn syrup, but it's sugar-free. How does it have the second ingredient is corn syrup when it's sugar? That's obviously not, it's marketing. So let's look at the creamer. All right, so this actually isn't that bad. $4 for one, whatever we want to call it, like container of it. So let's say we're going to go through that once a week. There you go. 4 times 12, that's another $12. So we're at $45 already. And that's even our fitness and nutrition vault access that you could sign up for right there. So that's just giving you guys an example. And I could keep going on and on, but literally every choice you make, we could dive into.
Again, just like for reference, if you are getting up and Monday through Friday, you're going to work and you're stopping at Starbucks and you invest yourself $5 in a cup of coffee, and you do that every single day on your way to work, 5 days a week, that's $100 a month.
Science. Math. Well, I should say math, but
One quick point that you were making, Mike, right there is talking about ingredients and looking at those ingredients. Just something to take a look at. When you're looking at ingredients on everything, the first couple of ingredients that are in that particular product is the ones they use the most. So if you're looking at something and sugar is the top number one ingredient that's in that product that you're using, that means it's got the most amount of sugar in it. The majority of what that is sugar. So to take away your point, the number 2 ingredient was corn syrup. That means there's a ton of corn syrup in that. Okay, so that's the way ingredients are listed. They go from top down. So what the number 1 ingredient, that's the majority of what's in that product.
And my favorite part to that, just to piggyback check, because this is like my favorite part of the whole thing, is they had asterisk next to it. It said trivial amount of this per serving. It's like, first off, that's a very subjective term. What is if it's the second ingredient, that means it's the second most popular thing you're using behind water. Water was number 1, corn syrup was number 2. So if you're saying corn syrup's trivial amounts, that means per serving, because they're trying to manipulate the marketing side of things, which is, again, we could do an entire podcast just on how to read ingredients and nutrition labels. But sorry, Chuck, I got excited. I cut you off.
Like it's trivial. It's trivial.
You're not going to get diabetes. Don't worry. You can drink. It only counts if it's more than half a gram. Your blood sugar and insulin levels don't count unless it's more than, that's not true. Obviously, that's bullshit. But that's what the marketing would lead you to believe, which I think is why it's so important to not only talk about these things in a free resource and platform. And guys, that's the other thing too. Like, I'm not saying all this so you have to work with us. There's tons of free information that we put out here that other platforms put out. And you don't have to spend that money if you just want to, hey, guess what? Part of, to me, a healthy lifestyle is a financially healthy lifestyle. So take that money and put it in your savings instead. Right. Put it in the stock. Well, maybe not. This is not financial advice. By no means my financial advisor. But save that money, y'all.
Put it towards something positive, rather than taking it and putting it towards something negative, a negative, non-healthy, choice that you're making. Put it towards something healthy. Get some supplements. Look at what your supplements that you should be taking. I'll tell you right now, and again, with COVID creeping its head back up, vitamin D, vitamin C. Everybody is vitamin D deficient. You should be taking vitamin D. Everybody should be taking vitamin C. Me, I kind of go a little outrageous. I'm taking close to, 10,000 to 15,000 international units of vitamin D a day. I may be doing it just, a little bit too much, but whatever. I'm doing almost 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day. Again, that's my choice. It's a lot.
How's the diarrhea going, Chuck?
Yeah, exactly. That's my choice that I'm doing that. But again, things that you should be doing at a minimum, you know, the micronutrients, the supplements that you should be taking, your water intake, instead of drinking out of the plastic bottles, get a stainless steel bottle and refill it throughout the course of the day. Invest that money you'll be saving in the water bottles. And again, you're drinking out of a plastic bottle and it's drinking possibly BPA. We don't want that. You know, the chemicals that come in, you know, that you're ingesting from that plastic that water is being held in. Drink out of a stainless steel one. You're saving money now. Now let's reinvest that money in something else. Whether it's financial, you know, being financially stable, or if you're able to do it, invest back into eating cleaner, looking at grass-fed products, looking, you know, instead of going and constantly going out to dinner. You don't know what that restaurant is using, what type of quality that they're using. Invest that back into a better quality of food that you're eating in your home, or work with a coach.
Or don't listen to us and waste your money and be unhealthy. That's cool too. You could totally do that and have
totally do that issues.
But, and like, just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Chuck, that idea of when you go to a restaurant, guess why it tastes so freaking good? They put butter and oils and all types of other things in. I'm not saying that that's necessarily evil in and of itself, but if you're not mindful of that, you're overdoing it, and then you're seeing your weight either go up or not go in the direction that you want, you're putting your hands up wondering why. These are some of the things we're trying to shine the light on to illuminate. See how light and illuminate what I did there, guys? It illuminates some of the issues and low-hanging fruit that we can make adjustments on. And kind of in that vein of now, so this is the other thing I can already hear everyone saying, well, Mike and Chuck, you're saying, hey, don't spend money, save money. But now I'm spending money on maybe a coffee machine or spending money on, I don't know, a filter or whatever. Well, all right, so here's, maybe there's an initial investment, but the money you're gonna save long run not only pays for that initial investment, but it actually, again, saves you money. So again, if you do that $100 going to Starbucks or wherever, Dunkin' Donuts, wherever you're getting, and you do that $100 for 1 month, do that for, let's say you get a fancy coffee machine, like $600. You do like 6 months or whatever. I don't know what's a fancy.
A commercial coffee machine are you getting for $600, pal?
I don't know. I'm just like, let's like overdo it. Let's go crazy. So you save up for 6 months, boom. Guess what? After a year, not only did it break even, but you saved yourself $600. And every year thereafter, you're saving $1,000. Imagine if I gave you $1,000 a year. That's crazy, right? So those are just some of the examples of what you can do and how to shift your mindset into thinking, oh, well, it's not saving me money. And dude, I don't want to hear the fast food drive-through things that it's saving me time, it's saving me money. If on average you clock it, it's 8 to 12 minutes, pending on the fast food place, right? For the whole drive-through experience. How long does it make to cook up some eggs or something simple like that? It takes less than 5 minutes of time. So when you're saying it's actually costing you more time, it's costing you more money, hence why they make money. They're in it for the money. They're making money off you because there's obviously a margin. So again, that's my rant. I'm sorry, Chuck. I had to just put that out there.
You rant away, Mike. You know, me personally, I go to work every single day. I get a lunch break. I am guilty of going out and spending money every single day on lunch. And I've dialed it back to say, you know what? I prefer actually to bring my own food. And, you know, talk about going to fast food. It saves time. There's nothing better than just going and eating my food up and eating. You know, I get an hour completely just to eat my lunch and just chill out and kind of reset for the rest of the day. Rather than getting in my car, driving to someplace, sitting in a fast food line, you know, getting a unhealthy whatever and sniffing it all the way back to my office, eating it, feeling like garbage for the rest of the day because I've ingested whatever food that I thought, it tasted great, but now I feel like crap now. You know, again, versus meal prepping, eating something healthy, something that I can control. And now, again, you know, we're going into the new year, 2021. I'm doing the 28-day challenge starting Sunday. I'm going to start it on Sunday. And I'm dialing my macros in. And I'm like, for the first 3 months of the new year, I'm going to be very strict with my diet. I'm going to be meal prepping every weekend. I'm going to be taking my lunch in every single day. And I guarantee you, I walk away for the first 3 months with more money in my pocket than I have, you know, when I'm not doing this healthy option. And again, it's a little bit of work. It's work, and I'm investing that work back into myself.
And then I think of the return on investment too. So if we look at that return on investment, I thought you hit a great point before, Chuck, that I didn't even double down on, was the idea of, you know, when you're investing, like I think of it as, and again, pardon me getting into the financial side, appreciating and depreciating valued items. Like a car loses value over time. Let's say maybe a home or something like increases value, hopefully over time. When you buy fast food, that's a depreciating valued item. You are hurting yourself over time by doing that. Whether maybe if you cook food, meal prep, that's appreciating. It's increasing your body's value and the return investment over time because you're getting more nutrients. You're going to feel better. The microbiome, our gut health is going to be favorable and changing in a positive direction. So think about it this way. If you don't even care about your health in that sense of how we traditionally think of it, you don't fully get the connection. Think of it this way. Every choice you make is either an opportunity to put some money in the bank or you're pulling money out of the bank. And I don't know about you guys. I hate putting money in the bank. I'd rather invest it in other things, but let's just, for this analogy, call putting it in the bank. Let's put money in that bank account for our health and over time get the return on investment. You're going to have, because a lot of times, and I hear it already, people saying, oh, Mike, I'm so tired. I don't have the energy. You know why you're tired? You don't have the energy? Because you're slamming coffees with sugar. You're not sleeping at night. You're stressed out. You're not exercising. It's really, I know it sounds too simple to be that true. And again, it's not simple just to make all that change all at once. And that's why even with another plug for that 28-day course, we take it one step at a time, incrementally working these things in.
Yeah, listen, I'm guilty of it too. I fell victim into the corporate world of the day-to-day, and I was just eating whatever I wanted to. And I came home and I was tired and I wasn't sleeping well because the foods that I was ingesting just were throwing off my chemistry in my body. So I had insomnia, I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't recovering, so I didn't feel like working out, and I became very unhealthy over time. And then I realized I had to hit the reset, and I was like, man, something's wrong. I don't feel right. I'm obviously not recovering. I have no motivation to work out. So that's when I had to make those choices to stop what I was doing. And again, that's that first step, identifying that something is wrong. Something is wrong, and we need to make a change. That's the biggest step, to make that identification that something is wrong and you need to make a change. That's the biggest challenge. Once you've made that challenge, then it's either aligning yourself with accountability buddies like Mike's My Accountability or coaches, and get people to build a team around you that's going to help you make those changes. Surround yourself with positive people, and surrounding yourself with positive people by making that change, changing the environment, changing the people around you, you'll see how many of those changes just naturally start to change on their own. And then naturally, you're going to start to feel healthier and make healthier changes, healthier choices.
Boom. I think that's also a great place to leave it for this episode before we kind of go into a whole nother rant and turn this into another part 2 podcast. We'll leave it into a part 1. We kind of chunk it all together. And again, take action. That's where we're going to leave it, with being able to make that initial step. I know that's the hard part, to your point, Chuck. And that's where I want to leave it for you guys and to just bring it home and remind you guys of a simple step that's even a free resource. Look below, click, in case you didn't already sign up for our free webinar. We have one January 4th, January 6th, and then the following week, January 13th. They're all going to be at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's a free Never Diet Again. We're going to break down 3 topics in it with gut health, cravings, and hydration. Simple things that you can do that are really informative. Obviously, I'll be honest with you guys, at the end, we're going to talk about a paid program that you guys, if you want to take action on, you can. If it fits into your budget, great. We're going to give you exclusive offers. So that's the benefit to jumping on the call and hanging in there. But even if not, it's going to be tremendous value, honestly, to just take away that you'll be able to make a change with the information we're giving you. So I'll leave it at that. Chuck, also, we didn't say anything about Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, I honestly, I was like,
I get it. We go right.
Yeah, we just dived right ahead. And so Happy New Year to you, Chuck. Happy New Year, everybody. We didn't even start with that, but we'll wrap it up with that. And
Happy New Year. Let's kick 2021 in the ass.
Yeah, everybody. All right, we'll check you guys later.
All right.